So how about that jiu-jitsu this morning?
Yeah, I didn't die.
Did you like it?
I did. Liked it a lot. A lot more thinking involved than I thought there was going to be. Like a chess game.
100%.
A brutal, painful, sweaty chess game.
That was your first. So yes, for everybody listening, Gerry went to jiu-jitsu. And it was an open mat too.
Yeah.
So those that know, you know. How do you like that, Mark? First time going to jiu-jitsu. He goes to open mat. Just savagery. Yeah.
I'm used to me getting up and kicking my ass in the morning, not just strange men kicking my ass in the morning.
Did you feel like you were in control?
Yes, until I wasn't.
You're like,
it was all this.
I totally have this.
It was all this false sense of security. The worst part was when I thought I was in control, and then I felt the fingers like creeping up behind me, and I knew. Yeah. It was like slow death coming. I'm done. This is going to be painful.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good. It's exhausting. I don't know. I don't understand. It's weird. Like one of our, Bruce.
Yep.
Our client. I got him on it, and he's like, the first time he went, he's like, I don't even understand what happened. He's like, I totally got my ass kicked, and I want more now. And now he's addicted.
I could see how it could become a drug, almost like the weightlifting and training and stuff. Yeah. You want more.
Do you want to do it again?
I do. I think I do. Yeah.
Nice, dude. What's your highlight of this morning? It's just interesting to get a perspective, because real quick, I'll tell you my story, and I've talked about it before, but it takes a huge amount of there's a lot of anxiety showing up to that. You know what I mean? Because especially as an adult, so when I first started, it was 38, I think, and I remember, there's no secret I've done some hard things in my life, former careers and whatnot. But so you show up and you're sitting in the parking lot. You're like, am I really about to walk in here and get my ass kicked? Like, this is insane. This is I'm teleported back to being third grade, or I don't know, whatever grade, schoolyard bully type stuff. Like, meet me in the parking lot at 3 p.m. I'm going to kick your ass. And here you are just paying, I'm going to volunteer to get my ass kicked, and then, hope that I like it. And then I had another friend that, he's another member of Crest. He's like, yeah, dude, my first time I sat in the parking lot, he's like, I almost drove off. It was that bad. It's completely normal. Everybody has that feeling of damn, do I really just want to go as a 40-something-year-old man coming here? And
and I think also for me, because I have a martial arts background, but it's a striking background. So kind of putting all of that out of my head and going in with a clean slate and just being a sponge.
Yeah. And it's a little bit different when you're that close to another human being, that intimate. We're touching each other.
Sweat's being exchanged, body parts are touching, and
it's the closest thing you could do to sex without it being sex, right?
Yeah. But anyway. I think the biggest takeaway I got was the camaraderie, the brotherhood, there's no egos. It's just,
oh man, you can't.
Yeah.
As soon as you go in there with an ego, you're going to get checked.
Correct.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's we all go in there, try to kill each other, and be friends after. It's very strange. I don't know, but as it should be, right? But yeah, did you get? I mean, I wasn't too hard on you, but was anybody really hard on you?
They started off nice and easy, and then
who was the hardest? Stratton.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I did one thing stupid, and he's like, "Nope, you don't want to do that."
You don't want to do that.
Okay.
And he's giggling as he's hurting you.
As he's wiping his sweat on me. And
right.
Yeah.
So it was him and another guy, and if we go tomorrow, which you haven't told me yet. So I told Gerry, I said, okay, listen, you're in town, if he goes, I don't know, this is Gerry Fredo. He's one of our Agoge coaches. Runs the challenge, actually the last challenge. I put a bullet in it finally. And that's because, we're focused more on the actual coaching and community of what we're doing there. Anyways, so I said, hey, we don't get to hang out much. Do you want to lift you guys want to get a lift in together, or do you want to do jiu-jitsu? One or the other. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I'll do both. It's like, okay, I get that. And yes, we could do both, but we're not going to. You know what I mean? Because we're fucking tired.
I want to be able to function.
Yeah, I want to be able to have brain power. Some brain power.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how my body's feeling later.
Late
game time decision.
You got in the truck, you're like, my toes hurt. And that's a thing. That's a thing. Especially when you do it for a long time, and then you get them in the ice bath, and bro. It's got to be like borderline arthritis. Mark, does your toes hurt? No? Bro, my toes are like, they don't even bend as much anymore. Like Allie's are all fucked up too. She's got like fucked up toes now too. And then when they get them in the ice bath, dude, they just like, wherever you have arthritis, that cold just
seeps right.
Just seeps right in, dude. Like my elbows, because of getting armbarred so many times. Which, yes, I know I should not be getting armbarred, but shit happens, man. Sometimes I put it out there and they grab it. Anyways, but my elbows take the longest to warm up. Like when I get out, it's like my elbows are cold. It's the weirdest thing. Anyways,
the other thing I thought was cool was as the guys were instructing me on what to do.
Yeah, that was not me. I was like, I'm just gonna try to smash you.
Yes,
and then
which I appreciated. But they would tell me what to do, and then I would do it, and then they're like, okay, now I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna kick your ass with it.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm like flipped on my back, and I'm like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that happens. You saw me run, rolling with, Black Belt Dan.
Yeah. Who's from Jersey, by the way?
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Monmouth County, New Jersey. Yeah, we were talking some Jersey smack.
Dirty little guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Anyways, this is a good morning.
Yes, absolutely.
Good morning. So we were talking yesterday. What did we want to bring up? I was like, we got to talk about it on the podcast. Oh, so for those who don't know, rewind. Was it episode 30? The Killing the 300-Pound Man?
Yes.
Okay. So if you you can pause this podcast, go back to episode 30, watch the Killing 300-Pound Man. That's like basically your story of, your dad. Your dad died at 49.
49, massive heart attack.
And then you signed on with Agoge as a client at what age?
43.
We just hit our 4 year, right?
This is going to be 4 years in July.
4 years in July.
305 pounds.
305.
Knocking on death's door.
God, you looked horrible too.
Not only did I look horrible, felt horrible mentally. The worst point of my life, depression-wise, mentally and physically.
People just don't get it, man.
They don't.
And what's crazy is I heard somebody say, especially with like the TRT stuff, Joe Wilson, a good friend of mine that lives out in Columbia, he goes, you don't know how bad you feel until you feel good. It's like, oh shit, I was like in a really bad way.
Because when you're in that moment, when you're living that life, like even though it's bad and you're depressed, you kind of put this false sense of security around that.
This is normal.
It's okay.
Yeah, this is
normal.
This is how everybody feels.
Correct. And then when you get to here, you're like, holy shit.
Like, why ever go back to that?
Correct.
So my question was this, because, people don't, let me pull up this and hold on. Squire program just posted something, and I've seen it a million times. I just thought it was hilarious. So like, and you've heard this, like start a new business, cost $3K. I mean, we started Johnny Slicks with $400. So like $3K is like amazing to start a business, in my opinion. Because if you can start a business at $400 and make it worth millions, like
no decision.
Yeah, let's go, dude. Yeah. Anyways, start a business, $3K, too risky. Buy a new car for $30,000, totally reasonable. Healthy groceries, $50, can't afford it. Fancy dinner, $150, no issues. Learn a new skill, 2 hours, no time. Netflix and YouTube, 5 hours, just one more. And I'm like life is about choices. Stop blaming lack of opportunity. I mean, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like the same thing. Like invest $1,000 in crypto when it's down. Nah. New iPhone. Yes.
Yep.
$10,000 to start a business, like borrow from your parents or borrow from friends, not a chance. Like people would be like, go fuck yourself. Take out $200,000 of student loans. Like, what the fuck, dude? Anyways, so we were talking about if your present self, how do I word this? If you walked in this room or walked into a room with version 1.0 of Gerry and sat down and said, hey, this is where you can get to. This is where you can get to.
What would you? There would have been no amount of money that I wouldn't have spent.
And I think I asked you. I said if it cost
$100,000,
$100,000,
I would have found a way.
You'd have found it.
I would have found a way, because you can't put a price on a living, on life, right? You can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
When I want to talk to my dad, I got to go to a cemetery. I got to talk to a stone. That's how I communicate with my dad. That was going to be in my kid's future.
Bro.
And even saying that like now out loud, it still hits me like a ton of bricks because that would have been.
How old would he be right now?
He was born in 51, so 72, I think. 73.
Totally reasonable.
Absolutely.
Totally reasonable. I mean, hell, dude, Joe is in the Agoge. He's 72, and he's like crushing people.
Yep.
Is he still running boot camps too?
Oh, yeah. He just challenged everyone to do 100 weighted burpees at the end of their training sessions.
Really?
Yeah, and he was doing it on video.
72. Isn't that crazy? So we have, literally the Agoge has, Zeke just left. We have a 19-year-old all the way to 72-year-old, all getting the same information. That kid's in boot camp right now.
Yeah, he's such a good kid.
Yeah,
I love that kid.
I just put him in. I just put a message into Recon to see if they would give him a look because he got a Recon option.
Okay.
So he gets an opportunity to try out if they so choose. So I dropped his name. So he's a good kid, man. Give him a shot. If he fucks it up, he'll learn. Otherwise, whatever. But it was just cool to see that. So 72 years old. Yeah, man. So your dad would have been, if he would have taken care of himself.
Absolutely.
And what's sad is, you lose out, your daughter loses out, seeing, he loses out by watching.
You didn't get to see me get married twice.
A good time.
Didn't get to see the birth of my daughter.
Oh, really?
Yep. Didn't get to see my son grow up. So it's everything. And I hate these people who say, well, he's up there watching down. Oh, yeah? That's supposed to make me feel better? He's not fucking down here.
Yeah, I can't have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
What if I get into a problem? What if I want to talk to my dad about a problem?
There's a country song, My Dad's Old Number. I don't know if you ever heard it.
No.
Man, I hear that song on the radio and it just busts me down.
I don't do the country music, Gerry. Yeah.
Even though I'm from Jersey, I still listen to country. But
I didn't realize how much country Jersey was.
Yes.
When I came up
When
there.
you came up, yeah. We live in the Boondocks part.
There's trees here. For some reason, I just saw like a concrete, pavement.
But you saw, obviously, with Cassidy being down here, how close we are, how we talk. My son and I are the same way. We talk all the time. My stepson, we talk all the same time. I can't do that. I can't pick up the phone and call my dad and be like, hey, I got a question for you. Yeah. Can't do that.
And we were talking about last night. It was totally heart related.
Yes. Cardiovascular, heart attacks. He just didn't take care of himself. And, me following that same path.
You were heading right down that same path.
I think I would have been dead quicker than him. He died at 49. I think I probably would have hit 46. Now I'm 46. I don't know if I would have been here now.
So based off the record you were at, it was 4 years.
Because the one thing I was doing that he wasn't doing, because of course I got to do extra, I added in the drinking. So on top of the food, cool. I was drinking a bottle of whiskey every 2 to 3 days. Oh. Right before I joined the Agoge.
Man, what was the trigger? What was the
just unhappy with me?
Yeah, but you saw something I put out there that was just
so. I was very simple. I was walking up the stairs to my office. 43 years old. You should be able to do that with no problem, right? Got to the top of the stairs, chest pains, couldn't breathe, and I'm like, fuck. So I went downstairs, cried like a baby in front of my mirror.
Is that your house or at work?
Yeah, at my house. Went downstairs in the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, cried like a baby, and said, you need to fucking change. Yeah. Or you're going to die. You have to do something. Yeah. Pulled myself together. I don't know what made me do it. I picked up my phone, looked on Instagram, and I saw back when you were a pirate, with the long hair and and I saw the Surviving the Cut.
That's how it all started.
I went to my wife and my kids, and I said, hey, I need to do this. And they're all like, yeah, do it.
It was so rudimentary. You were laughing last night.
Google Sheets.
The Google Sheet. We were doing everything on Google Sheets. Yep. And did we have a Facebook group at that time, or was it literally? No. How are we communicating?
I think it was all through email and what
the hell, dude?
It was the rudimentary program.
Yeah, but it worked.
But exactly.
That just goes to show you, because we all these people that the app's crashed or this and that. It's like, motherfucker. That is not your issue.
That's the luxury life.
That's the luxury life, man. Trust me, that is not your issue. You've got your training, you've got your nutrition. Do the fucking thing, man. Anyways.
And I think that ties right back to what you were saying about the cost, because we're so programmed in this country that comfort, easiness. When I would sit there and eat, indulgent food, it was comfortable. It made me feel good. It was easy. I didn't have to go to the gym.
It's so short-lived, though. It's like you feel good while you're eating, and then afterwards you just feel like a piece of shit.
So what does that make you do? Eat more.
My brother, my brother's story, right? Yep. My brother told me that. He was like, afterwards, he's like, I eat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat. I'm like, you're stuck in a fucking loop, homie.
And it's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a bad fucking cycle. Like when I would go to bed at night, it was nothing for me to go into the fridge, grab a handful of pepperoni, some cheese, and just scoff it down 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Do you like look, this is super fucked up. Do you look back at that guy and go, you're fucking disgusting?
Yes.
Like you're a disgusting human being.
You're an embarrassment. And the worst, like, you know, obviously, you know, my family, they were supportive of me then. They loved me back then, but
your family's always going to love you.
Correct, but it's about
almost
you.
to a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't you wish somebody in your family was like Gerry?
You need to fucking change.
Yeah, you're gonna end up like your dad.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim said that too because he said, remember him talking about on the call? He's like he went to one of his sales or one of his not reps, one of his customers. They're like, Tim, you look so great because he's lost like I want to say like 75 pounds or something crazy. And he's like, you look so great, man. Last time I saw you, I thought you were knocking on death's door. He's like, motherfucker, why didn't you say something? You know what I mean? And that's the problem with men. It's like, no, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to offend anybody. Like, dude, what the hell? It's like, but literally all that could be is like, hey, dude, I'm worried about you. Like we talked about in the last thing. Like it's not considered gossip or anything if you'll talk to the person directly and it's coming from not a place of negativity. It's a place of purpose or, you know, positivity. It's like, dude, listen, you know, this might ruin our relationship, but I'm worried about you. Are you okay? Your health looks like a little, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
And it, you know, it's being a father. We used to always talk about dads, right? And in the world that we live in today, and I've said this 100 times, you cannot be the protector and provider that you need to be for your kids if you're fat and overweight. You can't do it. It's impossible. You
can lie to yourself.
You absolutely. You can think. And I did this when I was 305 pounds. Yeah, I'm a big tough guy.
Can you imagine going and rolling those mats at 305?
I would have had a heart attack right there on the mats.
And that's the reality. And that's just we're just playing around.
Correct.
Like
if your life was on the fucking line,
like those dudes in there, we can turn. There's a big dial that wasn't hit.
And I felt that the switch was just right there. Like,
yeah,
we can go 0 to 10. Yeah, really quick.
We can turn this up. This is we're just playing.
Correct.
And imagine being like that 300-pound guy. It's like, well, I would see red. Like, dude, that whole thing. I mean, you've heard that, Mark, right? Like, I'll just see red. All that, you know, I'll be ripping ears off and do like, yeah, I'll be doing that too. Plus all the other things that I do. And not to mention, like, you don't have the physical capability
you
to
need
keep
that
up.
Cardiovascular strength to be able to be in the fight.
You'll be out in no time.
Correct.
Like, do 10 seconds and you'll be like, your heart's spiked.
And when you think about that, you know, from an asset and liability standpoint, being a liability to the ones you love the most.
Not okay.
You're a failure.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You're failing your kids and your family.
And it sucks because men will sell it to themselves that they can, like this confidence that they have, this false confidence that they have, that they convince themselves that they're something that they're not.
Yes.
And like you said, it's a liability.
Yeah. And the other piece of it that I think from a mental side is, and I'll be honest, I did this quite a bit, the wishing. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a magic genie lamp that I can rub, and I'm going to be physically fit after I make that wish. And wishing gets you.
Oh, it's so much harder than that. Yeah, it's the daily work, man. It's the daily work. Anyways, going back to the price, because we talk about like our mentorship program's like $299, right? I can't afford that.
How can you not?
But then before that, I asked them like, how fed up are you? Where are you at in your life? How fed up are you? Like, oh, I'm a 10. Okay, cool. $299. No. It's like, dude, if I got into your budget, I'd rip your shit apart.
Absolutely.
Rip your shit apart. And I told Kyle, I said, dude, you realize that, here's one. And I don't give a shit. I'll throw people on the bus. I was talking to a school teacher. So he works Monday through Friday, limited hours, you know. Granted, they show up early. You know, they might work 8 hours or whatever. But you're done at 3, maybe 3:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If it's late, yeah.
Yeah. And you're off on the weekends. Dude, 6 hours, I think I did the math, 6 hours of Uber Eats or driving Uber Eats or DoorDash or doing Uber or whatever, even another part-time job, not much money, right? get you over $300, $500 extra a month.
Is that not worth your life?
Right. That's all it takes. Change your life. And it's not forever. It's not forever, but like just to get you there.
Just to get you where you need to go.
Yeah, get you where you're going. Because you know the deal. Like once you get into the Agoge, you start making more money.
Absolutely.
It's a bizarre thing.
Because
you start making, when you get healthy and you get more, and a lot of it has to do, it's like we talk about fitness as a gateway drug. You build more confidence. When you build more confidence, things just
doors open up.
Doors open up.
Doors open up.
Yeah. And we've seen it. How many times have people have like within starting and hitting it, just even hitting a couple of their goals, they quit their job.
Yep.
It's like, it happens a lot.
It does. More often than most people would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, I'm out of this job, because they were a slave to this thing thinking they had to live this way. And all of a sudden we change their perspective and it's like, oh, wow, I can achieve pretty much anything that I want.
It's almost like a version of The Walking Dead, right? Because we're so ingrained of, we're not physically fit, we're eating shit food, our brain is just on this kind of like
herd.
Exactly, this herd mentality. And then once you start moving your body, this happened to me. The mental health goes into a much better direction. The clarity comes in. You're like, holy fuck, I've been doing this the wrong way.
Now you have a different mental health problem. Now you wake up and you're like, you have to deal with the little inner bitch. Because you're always doing hard shit. Like, God dang, this is hard, man. I'm tired. I'm sore. Fuck. You know what I mean? So there's a different kind of pull there. It's funny. But if you have that, if you're having that pull, you're having that talk with the inner critic, the inner bitch, well, you're just in the sweet spot.
I put that in a post the other day. I got down to my gym in my basement, turned on the lights at 4:30. Everyone else is sleeping. And I'm just saying, what the fuck am I doing down here? What am I doing? And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, because this is what we do.
This is what we do.
This is just what we do.
This is our life.
This is our life.
Yeah. Oh man, it's funny because everybody thinks that there's only one. I only know one robot. That's Steve Eckhart. Everybody else is human. Like I am a mere mortal. So even I have, like the other day I had, going back to the money thing. I'll talk about that in a second. But even I have these like moments where I was up late. I told you, right? I was up really late.
Yep.
Because my family's in town.
Yep.
And so we stayed up late, and then the alarm clock goes off at 5. You know, I got to take my daughter to school at a certain time. It was our mentorship call. So every day that I do a mentorship call, I spend about an hour studying and taking notes and kind of formulating my thoughts of what I'm going to deliver for that call. I like to be intentional about that sort of thing. So I was like, okay, well, it's late. You're not a young man. You need to recover. You need that extra hour, man, change your HRV a lot. And it will change your HRV a lot. But I'm like, then if I wake up, the little man's going to be awake. I've got to take her right to school. I've got an appointment at 8. Like the day starts.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And
then I'll be flying at that point. I'll be flying by the seat of my pants, and then I'll just be a little bit behind. You know what I mean? And I'm literally sitting there and I'm having this whole debate with myself, and which felt like an hour-long conversation. It was probably about 10 seconds. And so I was like, nope, hard now, easy later. So I got up.
Yeah.
Did it. And you know what? It was a fucking it was an awesome day.
Because we always talk about living intentionally, right?
Yeah.
And when you fall behind in one aspect, that just seems to snowball.
It does, dude.
And then by the afternoon, the whole day's shit.
Yeah, and you're just like thrown off.
And you're mentally thrown off, and like,
rushing, and you're not hitting you don't have meals planned. It just goes, and then you're not able to handle the stress. Like if an adversity comes to you, you're not in a good place to where you can handle that adversity. But if you do the damn work, you do the thing, it's like, oh shit, dude, like I'm totally in control. Like there's nothing.
Like my family knows I'm a morning gym person.
Yeah.
The days where things happen and I don't get in the gym in the morning,
throws everything
I'm
off.
grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm just not myself.
Like my cold plunge. Like I got to get that in, dude. Otherwise, like my whole mood's
the whole day just throws you off.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to discipline and routine, right?
That's it. I tell people it's a trick. Like we really do trick people because we deal with the priorities and we do the priorities and the routine thing, the exercise. And I tell people, I'm like, dude, all we're doing is tricking you to become more disciplined and consistent so that you can get results.
That's it.
You know, like you don't have to do that with us. If you just did that to yourself,
in general, you'd be fine.
The problem is you don't have nobody that's calling on you bullshit like
exactly.
Like we do. Like,
living by the seat of your pants does not produce results.
Yeah. Anyways, you would spend $100,000.
Absolutely.
If your 4-year yourself now would have talked your other guy into $100,000.
Absolutely.
It's not $100,000, guys. I'm just speaking hypothetically.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. But that's interesting to know from your point of view.
And that goes along with, and you've mentioned this before, when we have people that call in that want to join the Agoge and they say, well, let me talk to my wife or husband, and they say no. So basically what they're saying is, I accept you and your worst fucking form. And I don't care if you die.
I'm usually like, do me a favor. If you're going to go ask your wife, while you're asking your wife, ask her for your balls out of her purse and get those back.
But I know, again, if present self talked to past self and went to my family and said, hey, you have to make these sacrifices for your Gerry to live, they all would have been on board.
I usually say that. I'm like, okay, you want to talk to, let me put your wife on the phone, especially the ones that are really bad cases like yours.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, oh, you want to ask your wife? Oh, she says, well, put your wife on the phone. And I think a lot of it, what it is just it's a men not having the confidence to go, hey, I'm not sure about that. I've got cold feet. I can't afford it. You know, whatever. Because we'll work it out. Like, dude, I want guys to win.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, we have multiple tiers. Obviously, the higher the tier, the more. Obviously, we see that, right? Like my tier 1 clients, they perform.
Absolutely.
They perform.
Savages.
But it shows that, like, the more you invest in yourself, the more you take it seriously. Like, and that's one of the reasons why we killed the 30-day challenge. They don't, like, $99. How many people don't take it seriously? Like, what was the finish rate on a challenge? Like, average?
The final,
40?
like, not even.
Like sub 40%?
Sub 40%. I would say mid-30s.
Because you don't value $99 is not enough for you to go, fuck, dude, I'm putting everything in.
Which is crazy when I think about it, because I'm like, I'm not going to spend $100 on something and just do nothing with it.
Dude, there's like 10 people at challenge that spend $100 don't even show up.
Exactly.
It's crazy, dude. But the people that are the tier 1 guys that are paying a good amount of money, they're like, no, dude, I'm investing in this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get everything out of it. And actually, I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to send a message to everybody. The more that you put in, the more that you show up, the more you're going to get out.
And the funny thing is,
in life in general.
Yes. A lot of people think that when you do it, you're being selfish. And self-love is good, right?
Okay.
You got to be good to yourself.
Josh said that, right? Yeah. He's like, I remember him saying that. He's like, it's okay to be selfish.
Exactly, because it makes you a better husband, father. It makes you a better human being.
There's a whole, I was on Tony Blauer's podcast yesterday. We were talking about that because Simon Sinek did a book talking about great leaders eat last. And there's somebody that contradicts that and says, no, great leaders eat first. And I like that. And the reason why I like that is, think about the father. Think about what you said. Like, if you as an individual is not 100% locked on, ready to go, like your mental state, like the way that you lead, like you don't lead from, if you're not leading from above the bar, right? The way that your perception is, your physical fitness, your cognitive ability, your education, bro, you can't serve anybody. Like you're a lot more of a liability.
Yeah.
But when you are physically fit, when you are living with the kind of a stoic philosophy of leadership, like you have to take care of yourself. You have to do the work. It's the whole plane thing, right? Your oxygen mask goes on before anybody else. Great. So you put your kid's oxygen mask on. You passed out. There's a fucking 2-year-old sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, now what do I do?
Because you've got to be the asset. Right?
You have to be the asset.
Got to be the asset, not the liability.
Yeah. So that 100% comes down to like, okay, I need my time. I do the same thing with women. They really, I mean, guys can get real selfish, but women inherently are designed to like take care of their kids and build the nest. And I talk to these moms and like, listen, I understand that that's like a desire and you put yourself off, but look where that's gotten you.
Yep.
Overweight, frustrated, pissed off, drinking wine too much, becoming the victim. And I'm like, okay, well, let's prioritize mom time. Let's get your shit together. Because when mom's good, the
whole house is good.
The whole house is good.
Exactly.
If mom's not good, everything is fucked.
Exactly.
And everybody's going to know about it. Right? Like, I want Allie. I'm like, listen, do your gym time, do your nutrition. Like, you do what you got to do. Because I know when she's good, I'm good.
Yes.
That whole thing, like happy
and if
wife,
mom's
happy
not
life.
doing her thing and then you do your thing, holy shit, it's 10 times worse.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I don't know how much you want to get into that, but yeah, there's that gap effect, right? As the man, and we tell that, like, men, you have to lead the way. You have to set the example, and you don't need to. This is where guys fuck up. You fuck up where, like, for instance, you come on board and you're like, I'm going to change my life, and I'm doing these macros, and I'm getting up with a purpose, and I'm setting my routine, and I got my GSD list, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm starting to feel good. And then you're going to impart that on your family. No, you guys are doing it this way. You guys need to eat this. Like, I'm throwing out the stuff in the pantry. Like, hey, listen, if that's your family culture and they can handle that, cool. Usually, that ain't going over so well.
They don't take very well to that.
No.
No.
Especially if you've been a hypocrite for this whole time, and all of a sudden one week you jump on and you're like, this is the way it's going to be now. They're like, okay, motherfucker, sure. Instead, you do your own thing.
Just lead, right?
Lead.
Just do it. Do the thing.
Like George and Tim, the two, and Tony, all the guys that, that I have, they didn't really impart it on their family. They just did their thing.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden their kids and their wife's like, what's going on? What do you got going on here?
Your tribe watches everything you do, the good and the bad.
So, you know what was cool? So this happened to George Kano, culinary companion out of Dallas, Texas, and also GC Seasonings. Two of my clients and tribe members. GC Seasonings is
good stuff.
That's good stuff, dude. So, he's been working with his, obviously George has gotten in phenomenal shape. I don't know if you've been seeing the photos.
Absolutely.
Like, he looks like a Chippendales dancer. It's like a 300-pound fat dude to, chef to, like, looks like a damn
what did he call himself? Pudding cup.
Pudding cup. Yeah, he looked like a pudding cup before. Him and Tony literally could go make money on the weekend stripping at this point. How ridiculous they look. Anyways, so he's been working with, he kind of didn't force it on the family, just did his own thing. Your kid was like, holy shit, Dad, when I get older, how do I get abs like you now? Like, he's doing workouts, they're doing races together, doing workouts together. And he's gotten his kid into doing ice baths, and like really leaning into the uncomfortable and doing the hard work.
Yeah.
Right. So get this, dude. This kid is living like with values, with intention, doing the hard work. I think he's maybe 11 or 12. And so he likes this girl at school. Now we're talking 2023, 11 or 12 years old, likes a girl at school. What typically happens these days when a boy likes a girl? Like Snapchat, DMs.
Yep.
Like, not approaching. Go hit him up on social.
You can't talk in person anymore. Yeah.
Do you know what George's son did? Went to the girl's father.
Wow.
And said, hey, I'm so-and-so. Introduced himself. I would like to hang out with your daughter. Is that okay? How freaking... George said the dad was like...
Was probably stunned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. In this day and age, a young man's coming to me. I want to hang out with your daughter. Is that okay? Bro, that's some next level shit. But that's what we're talking about. Like, think about what that young man's going to be in his life because of, like, the foundations being set right now. All because the father took responsibility, changed his own life.
Yeah.
Like, we need a lot more of that.
So it's funny. My stepson, Brendan, baseball player in college, COVID hit, stopped working out, stopped doing his training and stuff, started putting on a little bit of weight.
I remember.
And then one day we realized we were wearing the same size pants. Brendan did not like that. So he started getting back in the gym, got him on a hypertrophy program. Now this kid is like texting me at least twice a week. I just hit this PR. Look at how my body's changing. All because he saw what I was doing and said, I can't let the old man do better than me. I have to get on the same track. And now he's kicking ass.
That's dope.
Kicking ass.
Yeah. It all starts with yourself. Like, you have to, if you're not taking ownership, and the reason, like, you got to stop lying to yourself.
That's the biggest thing, right? I think too many men live that fake life. And it's easy when that life is on social media, in video games. You don't have to be genuine. You could live in fantasy land. Like, how many guys, I was one of them at 300 pounds, playing Call of Duty. I'm an operator, right? I can do all this stuff. Stand up off the couch.
Yeah.
Let me move the chicken nuggets out of the way while I get up. It's this fantasy world that you really put yourself in. And then I even say, to all the guys out there that are going to listen to this, and if you're in that spot from an anxiety standpoint, you wake up in the morning, you get dressed, put on a t-shirt and walk out the door, right? Mm-hmm. Don't even probably think about it. Right. Can't do that when you're 305 pounds. Can't just get up and put on a t-shirt and walk out the door because you're so anxiety ridden about what are you going to look like in those clothes? How tight is that shirt going to be? Who's going to be looking at you? Even though nobody may be, in your mind, the entire world is looking at you.
That's crazy.
The entire world is judging.
You're really thinking about
Absolutely.
that all the time?
Do you know how many times during the summer, 90 degrees, I would wear long sleeve shirts, button up shirts, and people be like, why are you dressing like that? A lie. That's my fashion, man. It's my style.
I like it.
It's not my style. I'm fucking dying of heat over here. But you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed of the way your body is. You're embarrassed of how you're going to look in just a t-shirt. It's rough. It's rough mentally.
That's just so much pain, dude. You're really like those guys are in a lot of pain.
And you keep yourself in that position, right? You keep just putting that pain upon yourself instead of just doing the fucking work and changing your life. Which can just, it's not easy, right? Yeah, it's hard,
but it's not hard.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard, and the work is hard.
But it's not impossible.
Yeah,
it's not impossible.
But it's so worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, now, we always talk about moving the goal line, right? We're never where we want to be. We're always moving forward.
It's funny. You're like, I have this goal. And then you get there. You're like,
nope.
This isn't where I want to be. Remember with you, I remember that.
Yeah. I get people all the time that say, why do you still do what you do?
I'm not there yet.
I'm not there. When are you going to be there? Never. Maybe when I'm dead.
Yeah. When I graduate. Yeah.
But
when I expire.
But, you're always trying to improve yourself. You don't just sit back and say, yep, I've hit that goal.
Yeah.
Because it's scary when you think I'm done, but you're really not.
So $100,000. I should have charged you a lot more. Shit, I fucked that up.
I won that lottery.
Yeah, no, I really fucked. I mean, what did we do back in the day? It was like $35.
Something stupid and crazy like that.
I was like, I'm just gonna, Josh, you want to try this thing? Let's just do this thing because people are asking. And I said, yeah, sure, man. And I was like, let's build a Google sheet.
But you always talk about get a coach, right? Get a coach. Yeah. And it's so true because could I have started working out on my own? Maybe. But to have that coach holding you accountable, to have you and Josh saying, eat this, do this, shut up, and just do it. The results are there. And then calling you on your bullshit. That's key.
Oh, I got busy. Did you, motherfucker, or did you just like sleep in? You just slept in, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, let's not do that tomorrow. Yeah, it's just a little simple shit, man. I think really what makes a big difference, and we'll pivot to some normal shit, but the mentorship calls are just, I think that's where the work is.
Yes.
Like we talk about, like you don't have an app problem, you don't have a fitness problem, you don't have a nutrition problem. This is your enemy. This is your enemy right here, and that's where we get into some
deep conversations,
deep shit in there, man. But that's where the people are struggling. That's where the work needs to be done.
And I think for me, being on those calls, everyone knows I'm not alone.
That's what it blows my mind when I wrote my book. You think that you're like this special butterfly and like all the stuff that you deal with.
I'm the only one going through this.
I'm the only one going through this. I'm like, no, dude. Welcome to 98% of the men in this country.
Absolutely.
Surprise! You're not a special butterfly, dude. Like your situation is not unique to yourself. Sorry, dude. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like you're not a special butterfly. Yep. Everybody's dealing with the same shit, dude. We just have choices to make. You're just making bad ones. I'm making good ones.
And we're so conditioned to not ask for help.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm a strong man. I don't need the help.
But it's funny when you get in the group and guys start opening up and you're like, I'm delivering the mentorship, and then afterwards we talk about it and guys are like, oh, I'm having problems with my wife because of X, Y, and Z. Having problems with my kids, X, Y, and Z. And everybody's like, yep. Me too. Yep. Me too. And then giving the tools to be able to do it better.
And I think, like, for me, one of the things that I love the most is hearing clients say, oh, I messaged you on, like, privately, and now they're connecting outside of the mentorship calls, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's been happening for a minute. I've noticed that there's a lot more of that happening, which is cool. And I like people watching people link up.
Yeah.
Like, well, we started a cult.
Yes. You are a cult leader.
I'm a cult leader.
You are David Koresh.
I was making jokes people were commenting on that post, and I said, yeah, but our Kool-Aid tastes a little bit like pre-workout. just fair warning.
If this is joining a cult, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. Somebody actually said that. They're like, it's actually not a bad thing. All it is like somebody with like if you take out the negative portion of it, all it is a group of people that share the common values.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we call it a tribe. Some people call it a cult. I'm good with a cult too.
Yeah, I'm good either way.
So you actually, what did you call it the other day? Your side hustle. Your side hustle is actually in security. So how long have you been doing that?
I mean, with Microsoft, 10 years this year.
I didn't know if you could tell who it was.
Yeah, I could say it. I'm with Microsoft.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Fucking Microsoft! What the hell?"
Great company. I love it. It's gonna be 10 years as an FTE.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been doing security for 25, 30 years.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff. So like unfortunately, you've been very preview to all of the things happening in the nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're responsible for North America. So everything that happens outside of the Puget Sound area in North America, my team handles.
So what's your perception on? I mean, let's talk. I mean, what you can talk about, right? But like, as you see things that are playing, especially the last like 3 years with riots and all these different things, what was your perception from a security standpoint?
It's all about keeping people safe, keeping our employees safe. And from the pandemic standpoint, we had everyone switched to working from home. So it wasn't just, hey, I work at this office or I work at this office. Now we have remote employees. How do we keep remote employees safe? So that was a big challenge that I think the team really stepped up to the plate and did a really good job.
What were some of the methods? Like, because if someone's listening to this and you want to learn, like, well, how do I keep myself a little more safe? What are the steps that you guys were taking to be like, whether awareness, whatever it may be.
Awareness and education, right?
Okay.
Letting people know. So we have a very robust security team, intelligence team. So when we get advance notice of things that are happening, we pass it along to employees as soon as possible, give them the tips like, hey, stay away from this area. Because it's education and awareness, right? So if you know a demonstration is going to happen at XYZ Street, don't put yourself in that situation. Stay clear.
The people still do.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. And then you guys have assets to support.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's pretty cool, man. It's actually what you were telling me. I don't want to get
it's funny because when people hear I work for Microsoft, it's always like, oh, computers? No.
Just for everybody, he runs a fucking Android, so let's just get that straight. Yeah, it's a pain in my ass.
Well, it's funny. When I started with Microsoft, we had Windows phones.
I don't know what those are.
Yeah, we had our own operating system phones made by Nokia. Microsoft made their own phones. Actually, the operating system was awesome. I loved it. And then once we stopped making that product, we now support our software on Android and iOS.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I run an Android. I'm on the dark side.
We're going to get you there. Maybe I won't get you there, but I think maybe your daughter might.
Yeah, Cassidy keeps plugging away to get me.
And then if she moves away like permanently, bro, FaceTime's where it's at.
There's Messenger.
What the fuck is that?
We have Google Meet.
Oh my God. I like Google Meet for. I hate Zoom, even though we use it. I like Google Meet for meetings on the computer.
Yeah.
The phone shit, dude. I can't get around it, man. I can't get on board. I just can't get on board, man. I want to do voice text with you, Gerry. I need to shoot you voice text. I'm busy. You see my schedule.
Yeah.
I'm busy. And I'm like, matter of fact, one of your patient coordinator, I got to talk to him. One of your patient coordinators is on it. I went to go text him for you on your behalf at Core. And I saw that his number was green. I'm like, fuck. I just put it down. I was like, I'll get to this later.
Yeah, I remember the one you sent me an audio message on Google Meet, and you're like, well, I guess this is the way we have to do things.
I can't even do a group text with Gerry because he's an Android.
The worst, I think, is when Josh sends me videos, because he sent a couple to you and me together.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it looks great. And on my phone, it's like this big and blurry. And
I can't do it, dude. Mark, I can't do it. I can't get on board, bro. Nope. It's gonna be like when we onboard new people for like coaches or employees. I'm like, what phone do you have? Android? Nope, you're out, bro. I can't communicate with you. Anyways.
I want to go back and touch on one thing you said.
Yeah.
So with everything that's going on in the country, in the world these days, I think that ties right back to being physically fit. Because, and I say this story, I've said it a bunch of times, 2016, Fifth Avenue, New York City. I was talking to an NYPD officer during a protest. And
what was happening in 2016?
Trump got elected.
Doesn't even like register me. Like,
yeah.
Why? Okay,
so
cool.
There was an anti-Trump protest on Fifth Avenue.
Of course there was.
I was on the street just watching, and there was thousands of people there.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to myself, man, if something went down right now, I'm done. I can't physically defend myself. And then I got back to the hotel, and I was like, man, if my kids or wife were with me, I would have fucking lost them too.
And then you ordered some Doritos.
Yeah. Then I ordered some chicken nuggets and ate myself to sleep. But these days, and you've mentioned it too. You can turn the corner and there's a demonstration going on.
Yeah.
That can turn violent really quick.
Yeah.
Are you physically prepared to defend yourself and your family? And if you're not, you need to make some better decisions.
Or even the ability just to run.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking, can you run away? Like, and I'm not like, oh, I would never run. Okay, motherfucker, listen. You could be the most badass dude if you're about to get jumped by 30 people or people like smashing bricks over people's heads. Fucking run, dude.
Yep.
Fucking run. Get the fuck out.
So, I've been going to the gun range a lot, doing a lot of gun training. And that's one of the things I talk about. Like,
I'm not sure if that's legal up in your neck of the woods.
Somewhat. Shh. But that's one of the things I talk about. Like, if you're engaged in a situation, your first thing should be get away.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sit there and be the okay corral and shoot away. If you can get away, get away.
All the macho dudes in the comments and be like, I would never run. You're going to get your ass kicked.
One of the biggest lies I told myself, version 1, I'm not afraid of anything.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah, okay, fucker.
Yeah, like you said, it goes back to that guy. If version 1 Gerry was on the mats this morning, just rolling around, just wrestling, grappling.
Yep.
Now we're throwing blows.
I mean, what do we roll for? An hour? Right?
About an hour.
About an hour?
Yeah.
And I'm in decent shape, I think, right now.
Yeah.
I was gassed. I was sweating. I felt great.
It's rough, dude.
But it was rough.
It's rough.
If I was that guy,
you would have made one round.
I was going to say, I don't think I would have made a second round.
No. It would have been done for the day. You would want to throw up. And now add in striking.
Yes.
So now you got a guy that can grapple and ground and pound you.
Yep.
Bro, you're fucked.
And these were guys that actually, we met each other. We liked each other off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Think about that guy who just wants to kill you.
Yeah, dude, you're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
And then after he's done with you, what's he going to do to your 19-year-old daughter?
Oh, God. Yeah, there you go. That hits home.
It hits hard real quick.
Yep. There's a overconfidence of men for sure.
So
get your house in order, dude.
So to answer your question from before, there is no amount of money I would have spent.
Yeah.
If I had to do Uber, if I had to mow lawns, I don't care. I would have found that money to get to where I am right now.
So how's it? Why do you like working for the corporate world in the modern day?
Love it. It's great stuff.
Just got to cover up them tattoos.
Yes.
Don't want to offend
anybody. Yes, I usually wear hoodies and stuff. Don't want to trigger people.
Oh, man. I showed that. Did you ever see there's an Aussie commercial where you guys driving by and he's like, hey, you mind taking a photo of all of us? And he's like, cool. He's like, and he starts out, he's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, everybody say cheese. And they were like, oh, I'm a vegan, so can we pick a different word? He's like, sure, what the fuck ever. And then it just goes out of control. And they're like, no, what we have to be inclusive. We have to do this. What about the animals? What about, like, oh, I'm triggered. He's like, oh, is that a portion of the gun debate? It just goes out of control. They did a very good job showing how ridiculous everything.
Well, you remember a few months ago when the FBI, there was that memo that came out about militant violent extremists?
Oh, yeah, I was on it.
Yeah, so I get a text message from a buddy of mine who's on the job. He's like, hey, you're an MVE now. I said, what are you talking about?
How are you that? 2
of the top symbols of of that MVE, so we the people, and the Don't Tread on Me flag.
Oh, I remember the Don't Tread on.
Yep. So these 2 symbols makes me a militant, violent extremist.
I was at the top of the list. Like former military special operations guys are like basically domestic terrorists. whoa, thank you for your
service.
Thank me for my service. What the fuck? Yeah, man, we're living in strange times. I never thought, I honestly, dude, like pre COVID or whatever bullshit they want to call it, biggest scam ever.
Plandemic.
Dude, like, and now it's like straight, we know, like all of it. We got played. I mean, I knew now. I knew then we were getting played, but whatever.
Just now coming out.
Yeah, now it's legit. Now I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. Now it's like, okay.
You're accepted now.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about nowadays versus pre-pandemic.
Oh, I was just like living. Yeah, like I got out of the military and I'm like, okay, sweet. Dude, I had 12 years, bunch of deployments overseas. Now it's my time. I'm going to chill, dude. I'm going to go grow my businesses, make money. Nobody knew my like political affiliation. Nobody knew my opinions on anything, dude. I didn't talk about it. I talked about individuals. I talked about our businesses. That was it.
Yeah.
Talked a little about the military. But like as far as my opinions on anything, none of anybody's business. And then they fucking did the thing. Fucked with me. It's like felt like John Rambo. I was like, dude, you drew first blood, bro. You woke a bunch of people up. And like I didn't want to deal with all that. And yeah, I never thought I'd live in a world to where like the country, I mean, obviously there's people that say, "Oh, I saw it coming." It's like, yeah, I see there of course there were signs, but never in a million years would you think, and history does point to this, that the people who serve the country turns out to be like the enemy of the state.
Yeah.
I was just living in like bliss essentially. Like, and then all this stuff happened. I was like, what the fuck kind of world are we living in?
It's funny you say that because I think Rogan was talking about this the other day where in the like Johnny Carson days, when you were a TV host, they didn't know your political affiliations, right? You just did your thing.
You just did your job, man.
Nowadays, if you're not telling people what your political affiliation is, you're the on the outside. You're the fringe.
And everybody's digging, wanting to know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to say something about everything. You have to have a point of view on everything.
Isn't that crazy? But what's wild is all this woke bullshit. I think there's a tide coming the other direction because just on a monetary, is all the things that they're doing that is like that, they're failing.
Yeah. Like
they're just not making money. Meanwhile, Maverick, like American as fuck, is like blowing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shows that like, hey guys want normal shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We don't want your agenda. Like we got enough agenda. We don't need your shit forced down our throats. Like I just want to be fucking dance, monkeys, entertain me. You know what I mean? That's it. Just dance and entertain me, and stop making me think about, you know what color of rainbow I need to salute flag or something like that.
I don't know if you listen to Bill Maher at all or watch him at all, but
no,
I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm noticing now.
He's like a hardcore like liberal, wasn't he?
But his whole stance now is I haven't changed. It's them who are becoming crazy.
They're fucking crazy, bro.
And I find myself agreeing with him a lot more on things than I ever had in the past because he's saying, like, I didn't change my views. I'm still the same liberal I've been for 20-something years, 30-something years, whatever.
They're just gone nuts.
The other side has just gone way to the other fucking side.
I'm like, it's mind-blowing, dude.
It is.
It's mind-blowing. Meanwhile, our enemies, like, oh, God. Have you ever seen those the China and Russian military commercials? The recruiting commercials are fucking dope,
yes.
Dude. I'm like, Mark, have you seen those? They're like 1980s commando trailers is what it looks like. Like they're badass, bro. And then ours is like a cartoon about same-sex parents. What the fuck does that have anything to do with, like, I don't even give a shit. Like, you have same-sex parents. Cool, dude.
Yeah.
What the hell does that have to do with your military service?
Correct.
Jack and shit. Go be a badass. I don't care. It was so freaking confusing. So we have cartoons of that. Meanwhile, it literally like they're like fight, like the Chinese are like, they got their shirts off and they're fighting and they're like striking each other and doing jiu-jitsu in the snow. The Russians are doing bad. The Russian one looked like a what was the Kurt Russell movie where he was like some I don't know, man. I forgot what the name of the movie is.
Escape from New York?
No. Okay. He was a soldier. He was like this genetic creation soldier.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, when they were kids, they would like run like platoons, and one kid fell behind, and then he was up front leading the platoon, and the kid fell behind, and all you heard was a shot. Like they fucking killed the kid because he fell out. So it was some weird kind of program. I don't know. It was a dope movie.
And nowadays you can't even yell at that person who's
right.
last in line.
So that's what this Russian commercial was like.
Gotcha.
And then ours is like talking about, I don't know, painting or something.
Well, look at all these police departments that are lowering their hiring standards. There are physical requirements to bring people on board. But
and our enemies are increasing their standards.
Yeah, exactly. They're not lowering. They're not. If you're a cop.
I saw a Chinese classroom, kids
putting the guns together. Right?
Yes, bro.
I saw that. Yes.
I'm like, how are you guys missing this? This is what our enemies are doing. They're force feeding us garbage.
Yep.
Like they're literally putting garbage in our media and force feeding us bullshit. And then we have all these, like, we're changing all these ideology and taking out anything of any substance away from people, making it all about their feelings. And our enemy's kids are assembling and disassembling.
They're doing that.
Firearms.
You put a picture of a Nerf gun on Instagram and you're fucking shadow banned.
Fact.
It's crazy, right? What?
We're fucked.
Fuck.
We're fucked. We are fucked.
We may be okay.
I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine. Me and mine are gonna be fine. But exactly. The thing is, and that's kind of the reasons why, Josh and I, started the things that we do. And that's the reason why we've invested in the Squire program. And, I'm going out to the project and being a guest, an instructor for the project. And we run the Agoge. All these things is our way of pushing back. Hell, this fucking podcast is a way of pushing back of the opposition. It's just trying to have more conversations about this stuff to wake people up, wake men up and go, hey, dude, because I've said it before, the real pandemic is really just men.
Yes.
Because if you think about if every man, and I don't mean that we have to share the same ideas, right? But if every man was like you and I, like we valued our freedom, we valued our speech, we valued our fitness, we were building wealth, we thought for ourselves, and we made decisions what was in best interest of our families and our communities.
Nowadays, we're the enemy.
Dude, this is the reason why they would never have been able to pull this off in the past. But over the last 3 to 4 decades, they've taken the power away from men.
Yep.
Slowly, trickled it away, segregated them from their families, from power, made them fat, sick, dumb, docile. And now they can do whatever they want to do. That's what I would do in a foreign country.
Absolutely.
I would go and where's the military age males? I'm going to go kill them. I'm going to take them out of power. I'm going to discredit them as much as possible. And then what? There's nobody to defend the country. Done. So that's what they did internally to us. They just pacified all the men, made it bad to be a man. And then, boom. If we had an entire community of strong men in this country, there's no fucking way. Because the government would come down and be like, we're going to do this. Actually, no, you're not. You work for us, 1. 2, it's not in the best interest of our communities, our business, and our families. So, no, you won't be doing that.
And see, not to get off on a tangent.
Come again.
They forgot that. They forgot that they work for us.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
It's time to remind them. And I think the way that we remind them is making men again.
Yes.
And then when that happens, then it's like, okay, if this happens again, no, not today, buddy. Sorry, that's not in the best interest of what we need.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough of that.
No. It's scarce.
Yeah. Anyways. Welcome to America. Yeah.
America 2023.
So what is your next thing?
I honestly don't know.
Like you don't have what are you working on? What are you and Josh cooking up for yourself right now?
Just continuing to refine the project and the chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going from what I looked like before and then, getting out of the shower and like, holy shit, there's abs.
Yeah.
Those things exist.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that statue and then just kind of chipping away at the finer points.
And now it seems like you're really more, now that you've kind of gotten a solid foundation, it's like, how do I add more skills?
Yes.
Now that I have the capability of adding skills,
Correct.
how many skills can I add?
I mean, doing jiu-jitsu this morning.
Yeah.
Could have and would have never done that at 305 pounds.
Yeah. What's the name of the place that you got close to, that I hooked you up with?
Loftus Jiu-Jitsu up in Jersey.
What was the guy's name? The brown belt?
Jack.
Jack.
I don't remember his last name, but yeah, Jack.
He's a LE, right? He's a law enforcement officer.
Brown belt up there, yeah.
You should go have fun with him.
Yes, yes. go get tossed around quite a bit more.
Be fine. And your daughter's getting into it as well, right?
Yeah.
She wants to get into it?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to help her, again, physically, mentally.
Yeah.
Just getting her on the path, continuing.
I got to not talk to her. I'm going to talk to her out of going to school.
Please do.
Really?
Please do.
Dude, it's just like, I just have such a hard time with the education system and what they're.
It makes you broke.
Yeah, I mean.
And what you think you want to do at 17, 18,
19 years
you
old.
You don't want to do it fucking 35, 40?
I don't fucking, like 19. I think back to me being 19, like in the military. I was fucking clueless. It was a good thing I was in the military. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Shit, I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was like in my late 30s, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm just now like, this is what I like to do for now.
Yeah.
You know, in 5 years, it might be completely different.
Absolutely.
You know, but the whole thing of, no, you have to pick a career, invest 200 to 200 grand into it, and then do this for the rest of your life. It's like a damn death sentence.
Yes. You're saddled with it.
Quit, Cassidy. It's the only thing you can quit in life. Just go to work. Just go figure out.
We're okay if you quit this one.
Jesus, dude. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I would be more interested in a kid going and getting an entry-level job in the field that they're interested in and just learning it.
Yeah.
Think about where you would be if you could do that. Now, obviously, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer,
there's specialties.
There's a certain specialty, of course, that you need. You need very specific, instruction for. But for just about anything else, just go do the thing. Just go do the thing.
Learn how to do it.
Learn how to do it. Work your way up. Because if you got into a job like that you wanted to do, by the time kids are graduating college at 21, 22, you've been in the field for 4 years.
Correct.
They're
got
gonna,
that on the job experience.
They're going to work for you. They're the ones with a degree and debt. Yeah, man. That's if I do it over again. Now I went, I say that I'm a high school dropout with a master's degree, but all of it was pretty much useless up until my master's program. And even that was just, I could have gotten that through coaching, through master classes,
life experience.
Yeah. You know what I mean? My master's program was in leadership and business. And while I enjoyed it, it's not anything more groundbreaking than some of the things I've done with my my coaches, some of the events that I've attended. It's all the same shit.
Yeah. That's why I think a lot of companies, there's been quite a few companies now that are changing their recruitment standards from college requirements.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think they're realizing that it's a piece of paper.
Did you need college to get in with? No?
Nope.
Do you have college?
I have some college, never graduated.
So not necessary.
Not necessary.
Yeah. It's funny. I was going to school when I got out of the military, and I was trying to get this investor to invest in my first business, which, as you know, was a huge failure. He did give me a piece of advice. He goes, I was trying to go to school for this. He's like, why? He's like, well, so I learned more about business. He's like, you know how you learn more about business? Doing business.
Do business.
Yeah. He goes, what's going to happen is you're going to hire people that are that have graduated college to go manage your P&L. Like, you're going to go do the work. You're going to go make the money. You're going to grow the business. And this guy with $100,000 or $200,000 in debt, you're going to give him a job, and he's going to do your administrative work.
Yeah.
He's like, don't be that guy. He's like, go start your business. I'm like, cool. Can you have $1 million? No. He's like, no. Thanks. That's pretty much what happened. I flew out to Austin and met with this VC firm. And he was like, no, not a good deal. I'm like, no, it's a fucking great deal, bro.
You don't know what you're missing.
You don't know what you're missing. And then he told me that. And I was like, cool. So you're going to invest? He's like, nah. Keep at it, kid.
There's always next time.
Yeah, fucking decade later, here we are. But it takes time, man. It does take time.
But what you're doing, what you and Josh built with the Agoge, what guys like Bedros is doing with the project and with the Squire program, I mean, literally changing the fucking country. Slowly changing the country.
That's where it is. I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to. It's like basically creating. I mean, not an insurgency the way they're talking
Correct.
about it.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you change? You have to change the foundation. So really, change as much men as possible, which is good. But that's really so that you can change the next generation. Like if we can invest in these young men and young women, and get them to see what's going on, educate them, put it kind of in a way. I don't like to say like, well, we need to go back. We don't need to go back. There's a certain set of values and morals and things that were there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like growing up in the 80s as a kid, I mean, you remember, fucking awesome.
Yeah,
dude. It was awesome. It sucks that my kids can't experience the way playing. Like there was no video games. I mean, there was video games. But
Manhunt until the streetlights went on. And,
yeah, dude. Like you're just out playing, drinking from a hose. You know what I mean? Like just going out playing.
I mean, I remember going trick-or-treating till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Now there's curfews and
it's so bad, dude.
You gotta work. They do those trunk or treats now instead of going to the neighborhood.
It was just awesome. The whole thing was awesome. And so I'm not saying that that we need to go backwards, by no means, because you never go backwards.
Go forward.
You have to go forward, but we can do better going forward. And if we invest in the youth, we teach them these values. We teach them what's important. We teach them that you stay off your fucking phone and not get sucked in, being part of doing what the opposition wants you to do, thinking for yourself, doing the things that make you healthy, doing the things that it's good for your community and people, learning how to serve, right? Thinking about, and I told that to the project. I'm like, you want all these guys are, it's very intense, right? So they're dealing with their own pain, and then you go inward. I'm like, you want a superpower? Stop worrying about your own bullshit and worry about the guy next to you. All of a sudden, you're no longer like, you don't even feel your own pain. You're more concerned about your brother next to you failing.
Yeah.
It's the same shit and everything else. Stop worrying about your fucking self. Like get your house in order, but then figure out how to serve your people.
It's all about the people around us.
People around you, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my problems are not that. I don't really give a shit. Like that's what a parent is, an adult. That's what adult is. You're not worried about your own shit because you have too many other people to worry about. You're like, I have to be healthy. I know I have to worry about that, but I'm not worried about my like depression and all that because I'm like, I got a kid to take care of.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like your kid wakes up in the middle of the night throwing up. Do you want it? You're tired. You don't want to be up. You just fucking do it. Why? Because you have to.
Yeah.
Because this person needs your
help.
help.
Going through pain is 10 times worse than anything you can experience.
Oh, I would just wish I could take it, man.
Exactly.
Like, just fucking give it to me. Like my kid gets sick or something, I'm like, oh God, man, just give me the pain.
Let me take it all.
Let me bear it. But that just goes to like that's the way it should be. Anyways.
But for me, facing mortality, the question is, what do I leave behind, right? How do you achieve immortality? You teach those around you and you help them. And then when you're gone, those teachings continue on. That's my goal in life. What are my kids going to remember about me? Because
where do you want to leave them? If you like died today, what was if you like
own your shit.
That's it.
Don't blame other people. Put in the work. Get it done.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Don't make excuses.
And Papa Fredo will be proud of you.
Papa Fredo will be proud of you.
Yeah. That's it.
I think the last thing I would tell him is before you go to bed every night, and I got this from Josh, look at yourself in the mirror. Did you earn that sleep? Did you do everything you were supposed to do today for yourself, for your tribe?
Ooh.
If you didn't, why not? Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself to a higher standard. And if you did, rack out.
Rack out.
And you've earned it.
Yeah. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, you're gonna get real tired. If you join, you're going to get tired. And it's okay. It just means you're putting out.
I was tired before, right? But it was from eating shit food.
Yeah.
Right?
It
was a different kind of tired.
Yeah. Your brain and body is exhausted when you're doing that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, enough talking. You guys go do your day. Gerry, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for inviting us down, man.
We'll see. We'll have to figure out if we're going to jiu-jitsu or lifting tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys. You guys know the deal, man. Share it. This thing grows because you're sharing out there. Your screenshot it. Tag Gerry. Tag myself. People need to hear this stuff, man. They need to take ownership of their life, and that's what we want for them. We really, really just want people to take ownership of their life and be the very best version of themselves. So, thanks for hanging out. Never quit, never surrender, always forward. See you guys in the next one. Bye.